Right, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Saints View, the channel for Southampton content, as we review last night's massive victory over Leicester City. We rode our luck at times, but 3 points at this stage of the season is all we're going to ask for. I've got Liam and Rob as usual joining me. Firstly, boys, how are you doing?
All well, mate. Thank you very much. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm decent. Just watched a pretty good Super Sunday actually, back to back, so can't complain there. Liam, how are you, mate?
Yeah, mate. Definitely. We're good after last night. We're good.
Yeah, well, obviously we haven't grouped up for about a week now. A lot's kind of happened. To really heart-wrenching defeats. The first at Leeds, and then in the cup at against Grimsby. But a massive win, a massive win against Leicester, and a much-needed win based on our fixture run. Because I can't, not off the top of my head, can I tell you how many games of the next or out of the next run this is the case, but basically the vast majority of the sides we're about to face now are in the top half. Leicester were the last side for a good while that we're going to be facing, who enter the game in the bottom half. But Liam, we'll go with you first. As I just said, rode our luck, definitely. I mean, Iheanacho could have had a hat trick. Obviously, you've got that Harry Souttar chance at the end. It wasn't a classic performance, but surely it doesn't matter at this stage of the season. All we need is these results to go our way.
Look, 3 points are 3 points at the end of the day, and how many times this season have we just collapsed? Like, we can look at Wolves and other teams like that, but beating Leicester around us was key. And obviously, like you said, we rode our luck. Do I think we deserved it? Not at all. Honestly, I thought it was probably a crap performance, to be honest. I thought from the second half we were absolutely terrible. Like, just couldn't get the ball down, lost tempo, sat back, and we rode our luck too many times. Iheanacho should have had about 4 goals himself, and obviously that chance at the end kind of, I think, summed it up for Leicester. I tweeted out yesterday saying if there's any other team, we lose. But obviously you got to be positive after 3 points. But if we perform like that for the rest of the season, we got no chance. Unfortunately, I just got to be realistic with our chances at the moment. Perform like that, getting 3 points, yeah, fair enough. But I don't think we get 3 points on any other day.
What do you think? What do you think Saints did wrong then? Obviously, you look back at some of the chances Leicester had. I guess it's a mixture of bad defending. There was some poor goalkeeping at times as well. It wasn't Bazuni's best day at the office by any stretch of the imagination, despite the clean sheet. But what was it about the way in which potentially we set up? Sellers had them playing, maybe personnel. What was it that was wrong for you? Obviously, it's weird to be talking like this because we have won the football match, but I completely agree with you. It wasn't perfect, and against other sides, you do get punished.
I think Ruben said, I think we made the wrong choice with keeping Alcaraz on that. He might as well just been taken off at half time, and I personally think he made the wrong choice bringing Elyounoussi on. I think we lost tempo when he come on. I think we kind of lost the way we were going. I personally thought he might bring on Siku on to give something with Che. So I think Che lost it a bit. He couldn't really hold it up on his own. We weren't getting the ball to him, so I think him bringing on Moy maybe probably a bit too defensive. Even though when you 1-0 up, you kind of want to bring on play like Elyounoussi going to put in a shift, but I just don't think it was right. And obviously, hearing the fans boo Elyounoussi on as well is a absolute disgrace, really. Obviously, I didn't want him subbed on either, but when a player comes on, you've got to support him and you can't treat him like they're someone else. So, yeah, I think we lost the tempo when Charlie come off because I think he really set the tempo, and obviously he was quite lucky to stay on the pitch as well. So, but I think we can learn from that. It's whether he's fit for next week, I don't know, but I think Sellers will learn from that and be like, we can't perform like that because those players, even though we've got the 3 points, they're going to know we perform like that, we got no chance. Saying that, no chance.
Yeah, but additionally, we had something that we haven't had a lot this season, and to be fair, I think generally as a Southampton fan, we don't really feel like we get it that much. Rubber the green, it went our way for once. There've been so many games this season where we've ended up on the wrong side of a result, and it has been down to being unlucky as well as obviously poor performances. But I'm glad 2 points you mentioned there that I'm glad you brought up. Firstly, the Elyounoussi thing. It's a shambles. Like how I honestly, it infuriates me when things like this happen. And it was this, obviously now in hindsight, I guess we can laugh at it now, but fans were doing the exact same with Nathan Jones after 3 games. You know, when you've got these are the people that represent your football club. You can't do that. So really not happy about that. And then Onuachu, I completely understand that with Shea fit, Sellers wanted to go with him. You know, he's got a good scoring, or at least he's got history against Leicester, being where he's from. He got the brace against the King Power. He's a good hold up play. Onuachu had a really poor game at Leeds, I thought, and it's looking, you know, it's taking him some time to adapt and say, oh, that's fine, that's completely understandable. But with the pressure of the situation, he doesn't really have that sort of time, which I think is why everyone's already worried because he hasn't scored in his first handful of games. But not bringing him on, you know, you've got Mara and Adam Armstrong coming on. That made absolutely no sense to me. And I think, you know, Sellers was quite lucky with that we got the 3 points, because I thought his substitution, I'm not trying to point fingers, but I thought the substitutions were so wrong. And I can't really give an explanation as to what he was kind of thinking, because we did lose our tempo. We lost our momentum. Fair enough. If Alcaraz is injured, you've got to take him off. But don't put on, and also you cannot rely on this football team with those players to hold on to a 1-0 victory for 45 minutes. You have to go and chase that.
The problem is he's trusting the same old players that have let us down for how long. I'm thinking, what's the point? Yeah, I mean, what's the point of bringing in these players if they're not going to be used? How many times has all these players let us down? Yeah, I mean, he's still trusting them on side. I'm not bringing on Paul because he wants to keep the tempo on. But...
So he's basically made the same subs as he did against Chelsea, right? And Leeds, bringing on Sekou and Armour. He really likes bringing those two on. I agree that we should be chasing a second goal, as Dan said. We can't defend that for 40. I mean, I know we did, but we got so lucky. Jesus, like Iheanacho, man, how's he not getting 3 goals? I don't have a clue. But for me, Stuart Armstrong should be coming on when Alcaraz goes off. I think that's a like-for-like change. Elyounoussi just doesn't offer the same dynamism as those two do in terms of ball carrying. You know, he's an outlet essentially, Stu. And then obviously, as you mentioned, Iheanacho, he should come on. But when you're playing against Harry Souttar, right, who's a lump, he's literally, I don't think he's all that great, but he is an absolute unit in the air, right? You want your best men on the pitch. Sekou's got a jump. Don't get me wrong, he does have a jump, but Paul is an outlet, because all Saints do, right, when we defend the leaders, we just drop further and further and further back and just pray that nothing goes in our net. To have a bloke who's 6'7" sat on the bench who could be used as a serious outlet, you know, if you want to pump the ball long, great. We got the tallest player in the Premier League on our side. Just chuck him on the halfway line, you know. Offers probably a better outlet than Mara. Don't even get me started about Adam Armstrong. I honestly, I'm just so fed up with Adam Armstrong. I think he's just, I don't understand what he offers apart from running. But great, we literally have bought another Shane Long, unfortunately. But then you know, and I would much prefer to see a Dozy come on instead of Adam Armstrong. You know, give the ball to a Dozy, let him run up the pitch, draw a foul in their half, breaks up.
I don't think he made the. Did he make the squad? He
wasn't
on the
squad.
bench, was he?
Wasn't on the bench.
23s on Friday.
I just don't understand that at all.
Yeah, well, he's an exciting player, but the end product obviously isn't there yet.
Yeah,
but I think
exciting.
He is exciting.
That's the same with all of our players, though.
He gets the fans off their feet. With Stuart Armstrong, I feel it was a mixed one. Like, don't get me wrong, the last 2 seasons, he's been well below what he has been able to offer for the club beforehand. But we still don't have a ball carrier like him. And I feel like it's no coincidence that we finally got a win at Chelsea a couple of weeks ago when he was back in the side. You know, the two are linked. That stat that went on for ages where Saints weren't winning games without him starting. And you can see it. He is our best ball carrier. We're a lot more fluid. And to be fair, I've given Theo Walcott a lot of praise this week, and I think it's justified, and it's worth noting. The last three, I'd say the last, maybe not so much at Leeds when he came on, because
I thought he was great at Chelsea, mate.
He was brilliant at Chelsea.
Really good.
Obviously got a goal against Grimsby that was chalked off. Got a time his run a little bit better there.
Good on Theo.
And he won the penalty last night. So I don't think he should be starting these games. But we need players like that. Someone who's actually going to fight for the badge.
But he's committed. I'll tell you,
he's put in a shift. He put in a shift. All I saw was him running. And surprised he didn't put a hamstring, but he did his first.
So I want to make sure that he gets a mention because if he's watching, Theo's doing well. He's doing well. But
I thought he's fantastic.
Yeah, no, there was so much about yesterday that I can't really understand. But regardless, it's 3 points on the board. And what I also want to add or touch on, pretty close to as good as a weekend in terms of the results elsewhere that we can get. I think mentally it's going to be massive for those players, surely, to go off the bottom of the table. Even though it is on goal difference, that it's a 9-0 that's actually helping us this time when Bournemouth lost at Liverpool. But Forest Everton with a draw, personally, I think that's a really good result for us. I think that's the best result we could have got.
No, I don't think I've celebrated an opposition goal as much as I did yesterday with Arsenal in the pub. Saw it go, I was gone absolutely mental.
That was unbelievable, right?
It's everything. Like, this is completely irrelevant, but I really do want to see Arsenal win this league.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, so do I.
I think it'd be exciting. It's different. I really like what Arteta's done, but that's obviously a conversation for another day. And that's for me. That's our biggest relegation rival, Bournemouth. I think.
Oh yeah.
If you're thinking of any teams more likely to go down, well, now Bournemouth are favourites to go down after this weekend. I would have said them.
But doesn't it just make you think? That Wolves game, Leeds game, a Forest game. What else we got?
They will come back to bite us.
So, mate, those games, like, we hold on against Wolves, even a point, and it just changes everything. So, win is awesome. The results around us are great. But hindsight is so frustrating in these situations, isn't it? Just imagine if we held on for 3 points at Wolves.
We shouldn't be in a relegation zone right now if we could finish and have a decent keeper and goal. You know what I mean? I think we'd be so much better off.
Yeah.
I still back Bazunu.
I think it's. I still back Bazunu. I think it's.
Yeah, so do I.
It's mainly down to the goal scoring. I mean,
sometimes.
Yeah, I agree.
Sellers' 3 Premier League games have all ended 1-0. 2 to us and 1 to the opposition.
We've only conceded 1 goal though, mate.
But we have only conceded 1 goal. So that's what I wanted to say. That's the improvement. I mean, we've kept 2 clean sheets in 3 games. We'd kept 1 in 22.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah,
about that. 22, 23.
Jan Banner up, by the way. Fair play to him. And it was fantastic again yesterday.
That is exactly what I was going to lead on to.
Agreed.
It's absolutely fine to hate Jan Bednarek, the person.
I hate Jan Bednarek, the person.
That's what he said when he moved to Villa. Completely understandable. But when he steps onto that football pitch, he's representing Southampton Football Club.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah, sure. If you don't want to cheer him, if you've got a little bit of a grudge, I completely understand it. I've got a grudge. If he makes a mistake, I criticize him way more than I would any other player when they make a mistake because of what's happened in the past. But he has been absolutely brilliant for the last
since Chelsea, I'd say.
Since Chelsea, and I got some sticks saying that he dealt with everything at Leeds. He did. What Jan Bednarek is good at is getting his noggin on the ball. I was about to say knob then. Getting his noggin on the ball and clearing it away. What he's bad at is when the ball's at his feet. So
his head's a bit hollow, mate, so it probably doesn't hurt that much.
So
he got in the way of everything. Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing he didn't get in the way of last week was the goal. That's probably the only thing he didn't get in the way of at Leeds. And
see, it's stuff like this,
I
right?
thought again he was.
To be fair, he wasn't like the Wolves goal. That is
the Wolves goal. Obviously, it's an own goal.
Yeah, we'll move on for that Wolves game.
Leeds, it's Bazunu's error, and the way was it Maitland-Niles to get skinned? Yeah, no, I'm not having that one. Sorry, it's all biased. Honestly, I promise you, if that was Salisu in the way of Bazunu, whatever, no one would have cared, or Bella
probably
or
not.
whatever.
Probably not.
But
probably not.
I think if Salisu didn't get injured before the Chelsea game, I don't think he'd be playing. But
no, I completely agree. But he's taken that opportunity.
Good.
He has taken that opportunity, and you know, you can say what you want. I completely get it. I completely get it.
I think the guy's a melt.
I think the bloke is someone I don't want to see play for the club after this season.
No,
I don't.
No, definitely not.
I still disagree with bringing him back, but you have to accept that this is the situation. And he's been
mate. In a relegation fight, if a player's putting on a shirt and they're putting in good performances, you can't really complain. But the bloke is a melt.
The bloke is a melt, and it really frustrates me that last week he was by quite some distance. He was the first player to start clapping the fans.
He's obviously trying to repair it,
player as well.
At Leeds, he was down. He was literally stood. I remember watching this because I stayed for some stupid reason. He was literally stood there for like a good 30 seconds just doing this to the fans. And not in a sarcastic way for once, which was nice to see. But yeah. No, he's obviously trying to repair it. But for me, if as a player, as you said, yeah, he's fine. But as a bloke, he's not to my taste.
Are you saying that? No, I'm not saying that at all. But he's been. I don't choose the team.
Yeah, we have no autonomy
in the squad after.
I don't watch them train. I don't pick the team.
We have no autonomy.
Right now,
yeah. So shouldn't have started after the Grimsby game. No way.
Whether you like it or not, he's in the team at the moment, and he's keeping his place in the team. Anyway, moving away from that.
Quick one.
Yes, go.
Very quick conversation about. I see that comment about Maitland-Niles.
Yes, I was going to bring that up actually.
Like it. I think he's doing well to keep Perot at the team. Has to be said.
Yeah,
but he makes me.
I think we look better with them two rather than Perot. I don't know what it is about Perot, but I really love the guy. I just don't think it works well. I just don't think he has any balance between attack and defence.
He's got really good left.
I really love the guy.
I think heart. He's got heart.
I think Perot's got heart, and I think he's. I'd probably argue that he's better as a wing back.
In a 5 back.
I don't think he has any. He isn't great attackingly, but he's better defensive wise than attacking wise. But when he plays, we still seem to be very. Him and Salazar on that left hand side just
he doesn't cross enough. He doesn't cross enough because he's got a decent left peg on him.
Yeah. He's got a good cross. He doesn't use it.
But we don't use it. But yeah, I think with Ainsley, it's been a couple of good performances now, hasn't it? I think he was decent against Wolves, at least in the first half. Very good at Chelsea.
Come on, man, allow Theo. Come on,
Leeds. I'm ignoring that one for now. I want to stick on Maitland-Niles.
Yes, let's talk about Ainsley.
Yesterday, I can't really give a comment. I love Perot. Would I prefer seeing him start? Yeah. Is that a bias thing? Yeah, potentially.
Yeah.
Only because there have been some performances this season where Maitland-Niles genuinely hasn't even looked like a Football League player, let alone Premier League.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
You know, and it's these players. And to be honest, it's probably harsh. And he probably doesn't mean it. He's probably just got one of those faces, but he just never looks bothered.
Mate,
he's very casual.
There was a quote.
Very casual.
I think Mark Wyatt on Twitter posted a quote when he asked Maitland-Niles about his nonchalant attitude, and he's like, I'm going to keep on doing it. It works for me. If people get bothered by it, fine. But mate, every time he gets the ball, I drop something in my underwear. Honestly, genuinely, the Calvins get mudded. Genuinely, every single time he touches the ball.
That's the thing. So, if we stay up,
I think he should have taken a penalty for me as well.
Yeah, I said this at the time. I was like, mate, Maitland-Niles is generally one of the best penalty takers.
Honestly, I was sat with my mate Tom, and we both said to each other, "He's missing." And the guy goes, he goes, "What do you think he's going to miss?" I go, "He's going to go bottom left every time, and the keeper's just going to save it." He did it against Brighton. He's all the time. I think he's not a penalty taker. And what annoys me is we rely on the guy too much, man. Someone needs to take responsibility. especially for someone like me, Adams. You're a striker,
Yeah.
mate. Take some
I
responsibility.
think-
Yeah,
I
but
think
I wouldn't want Jay standing over the
But he's a
biggest. Like, I wouldn't
striker.
want
He
Jay
should be
standing over.
realistically the best finisher
Yeah,
at the club.
no,
So it's like,
I completely agree.
Oh.
You know, if we were winning more penalties, I do think the conversation would have to be had. I know that the conversation's been had at Man City with Mahrez missing all those penalties, but obviously we don't win enough penalties for that to be a thing. Right,
exactly.
I'm just going to bring.
So
I
that's
am
our
just going to
first
bring
home penalty in ages. You know what I mean?
I am going to bring this up.
Man.
The only reason why fans are praising Theo is because of the situation we're in. Obviously, if we were fighting for Europe or top half, he'd be nowhere near the team.
Absolutely.
But the reason why maybe they are a little bit biased based on his history with the club. But the reason why fans are praising him is because he is one of very few players from this season who has shown any desire for and passion for the badge, and he's committed. Should he be in the Premier League starting lineup in 2023? No, I don't think he should be. I don't think he should start the next game. But he's on the pitch and he gives everything for the shirt. And that is exactly what we need right now. When it comes to a more comfortable situation, yeah, fair enough. But right now, the situation we're in, we have to accept it. And he is one of few players who's actually showing commitment to this to the shirt. And that's what I've got to say.
We need our most committed players on the pitch. If you go back, anyone listening, if you haven't already, go watch Theo's post-match interview. He's honest. What can I say? He's honest, and I quite like it.
On this one, though,
I think we all know that.
I agree with this one. Footballing talent of a tree is. Having said that,
be a bloody small tree.
Having said that, if we go down, I will keep him 100% if he can replicate his Blackburn form. I'm just having a look if there's any other comments to see.
I have a weird love for Adam Armstrong. He's terrible, I know.
Is it because you look like him?
No.
Oh, that's a terrible take.
I don't know.
Obviously, he's terrible, bless him. But he's the one player at the club I want him to succeed.
Yeah,
so
I completely.
I know what you mean. When he scored, do you remember when he scored in pre-season? Everyone's like, "Oh,
yeah,
here we go."
I mean, when he scored against Newcastle as well, I was like,
"Oh yeah."
He's got such a cold celebration. He's got such a cold celebration, and I really want him to be using.
And it's like VAR as well. How the hell they took 2.5 minutes to look at that goal yesterday when he was so onside.
Yeah.
VAR has been a bit of a pain in the backside recently for us. Anyway,
and Charlie Alcaraz quite lucky as well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think
any higher, that's a red card.
But I think that's it. I think it's what Danny Murphy said, because it is so low. That's why they haven't given it.
It's just a really aggressive stamp on the foot, wasn't it?
Yeah, and
it's not a red.
No, it's not. But any higher, like if he catches him on the shin,
if it's on his ankle, then yeah, sure, whatever. But it's not a red, mate. He just touches his pinky toe.
Classic Argentinian.
It's because he's off his. Yeah.
Alcaraz the butcher, hey.
Alcaraz the butcher, yeah.
I love him, though. Just hope he's not injured.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Bloody knee slide. Why is he doing that?
Well, you say that, but if he hadn't got the injury, then we wouldn't be talking. We'd be talking about how great the celebration was. But
no, exactly.
Big game to come.
Yeah.
Obviously, we'll do a full in-depth preview later in the week at some point. But Man United away, I have just watched them lose 7-0 at Liverpool when I was being reminded by so many United fans that they're back.
We're back, baby.
I think they were.
Not too sure about that.
Then.
And that their title, they're in the title race. Not too sure about
14 points of Arsenal now.
Yeah, that's not happening. But
is it 14 points? No way.
Yeah.
But we're talking about a side who, at home, particularly of late, they've been formidable. The amount of games that team has played recently is just stacked, and they always, or most of the time, seem to be able to churn out a result.
How many games is it now? I think is it over 20 games now? They're unbeaten at Old Trafford.
I couldn't tell you, but it's
at home all season. That was against Brighton and Real Sociedad, I'm pretty sure.
Blimey, yeah,
so there you go. So, and it's somewhere we haven't won at 2016, isn't it? So
yeah,
we have been known to pick up a few draws there, and
we've been, and that's what I was about to say.
Pretty sure.
And that's what I was about to say.
We should have won there last season, 100%.
Yeah, 100%. That was the most confident I think I've ever been for a Saints side going to Old Trafford.
Yeah.
After beating Spurs away as well.
But the thing is,
mental.
You know, I'd love to sit here and use the whole oh, and they've got a game on Thursday, you know, they're going to be tired. I love to use that argument, but these football clubs are built to handle these schedules.
Absolutely.
So I really don't think it's a very relevant argument. Obviously, we'll have to see how much of a blip that Liverpool game was. Gary Neville was saying it's a freak result. Well, we'll have to see. Personally, I agree. I think it was one of those days where they just really didn't show up, and Liverpool seriously showed up. But I do also see, and even before the Liverpool game, I was going to say I feel there's an opportunity for us there. But we're going to have to be compact. I think we're going to have to shy away a little bit from what we've been doing the last couple of games.
Yeah.
And, you know, we're going to have to stay resolute. This isn't one of those games where we've got to be completely chaotic, try and take the lead, and then, you know, see if we can get more. I think it's going to be backs against the wall. I think it's going to be quite similar to Chelsea. I think it's going to be backs against the walls for a good bit.
Would you be against the 5 at the back, or
yes?
Just me, or...
I wouldn't personally. I think we play. To be honest, we do generally play worse with the back 5 even.
Yeah,
but just having the extra man.
How open we looked. Look, I know we beat Leicester and Chelsea 1-0, but in both of those games, how many chances did we give away?
I think, mate,
too many.
For me, go on, Liam. Go on.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's really road unlucky. Like, honestly, I know all of our Saints fans know that we play better in the back 4, 100% without a doubt. But for me, if we can start with a back 5, if we do start with a back 5 and we do not play well, we can change to a back 4. But if we're playing with a back 4 and we collapse and we go back to a back 5, people are going to be thinking, what's he doing? Why are you shutting up shop? Yeah, I mean, it's just one of those ones where you're not going to be able to win.
I think it's the midfield for me, mate. I think if Alcaraz is fit, I mean, I pray he is, we need that Lavia, Ward-Prowse, Alcaraz midfield. And I think in a game like this, I was speaking to one of my mates who kind of summed up the back 5 situation for me. It's like, obviously we don't have great centre backs at Saints, right? So why would you want another one on the pitch? You know, it's that whole thing. And with the most interesting spot for me going into that game is going to be who plays right back. So for me, I'd much prefer Walker Peters going up against Rashford than Maitland-Niles personally. But then, you know, do you bring Perot in? But you know, the key thing for me is if we do go for a back 5, Paul Onuachu's got to start because we need that outlet up top. But we need that Lavia, Ward-Prowse, Alcaraz midfield. If not, failing that, Ward-Prowse, Lavia, Stuart Armstrong midfield.
Yeah,
absolutely.
No, I completely see where
you'll
you're
go for a 3-4-3, like just have Lavia and Ward-Prowse, and maybe Stu as like a right-sided player defending the 5-4-1.
I think you need
like that.
I think you need bodies in the middle. I think just that 3 in formation is so balanced. It looks so good. I'd go for a 4-3-3. But if he sets up in a back 5, I completely understand why. But yeah, Onuachu versus Martinez, that's a great point.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
I don't know. I think it's one of those where Sellers is going to be trying to instill some sort of identity, and he hasn't done that yet. The only thing that I feel has changed is the work rate and the dedication, because obviously we've kept 2 clean sheets in 3 league games, which, to be honest, even before, like even under Hasenhüttl, that was unheard of. But he's trying to instill his philosophy. If he then goes and changes the system that's worked for 2 out of the 3 games, question marks have to be raised there. But I do feel, because it's by a country mile on paper, this is the most difficult game he's faced so far.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I wouldn't mind having a bit of extra personnel in the defense, but look, we'll have to see. I think it's going to be based on United and what he thinks is going to work. But we have to, and this is the exact same for every single game now. We have to go there with a belief that we can come away with the result, because if we don't, that's more than half of our remaining games. Because, you know, I think the average position of the teams left to face is something like 8th.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I'm looking now, and it's that West Ham
game.
I think
Brentford and Spurs at home are massive. You know what I mean? I think
Brentford.
I'm more confident to beat Spurs than Brentford.
definitely do really
I
well.
don't know, man.
But it's and you know,
Game
if
at
we
a
are to
time.
pull off,
Game at a time. Yeah, I mean,
if we're yeah,
like,
and I think
no pressure Sunday. No pressure.
there's no pressure on Sunday. I haven't looked at the other games going on around us, but
Leeds got Brighton, Forest got Spurs, Bournemouth got Liverpool.
Okay,
Everton
so
got who Everton got?
anyway, it
And
doesn't.
they got Brentford. They got
Okay,
Brentford,
but we're just then. This is how it's going to be for the next 2.5, 3 months.
Yeah.
We're going to have to be having our fingers crossed that we can somehow pull something out of the bag in terms of a performance, get some sort of result, and then hope that the teams around us can't. Because oh my god, like I think it was emphasised today after looking at the league table going into the Forest Everton game when Everton had played the same amount of games as us.
Mm.
We got a game on hand on them now. We got a game on hand. Yeah,
6 points, mate. 6 points between 12th and bottom.
I have never, ever seen the table like this. Like that relegation scrap is good, and I'll say it now. I think maybe not necessarily end up in the final in the bottom three, but I think you're going to see a team kind of 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th drop in at least once before the end of the season.
I think Palace get dragged.
Well, Palace haven't won since the turn of the year.
They got City on Saturday as well.
They're in dreadful form at the moment.
Oh mate, I'm thinking in my head. I'm looking at the table and I'm thinking, oh, what would 3 points do for us next weekend? I can't let myself get.
You
get
can't,
ahead of myself
and
like
that's
that.
the thing. You
I
can't have
do
that
to
mentality,
myself.
and it is
so tough. I think
it is,
what 34 points keeps us up.
I
think?
the whole 40 points.
34? No.
You throw the.
Do you not think? Mate, I think so. With how tight it is, I reckon. Mate, I do. I think 34, 35 points.
There are some genuinely dreadful teams in this league.
There's 13 games left, isn't there?
But there are 13 games left. We're on 21.
Games.
That's basically 4 points from 4 wins from 13 games.
Yeah, it's serious.
And a draw,
basically.
Yeah, that's doable. That's doable. Come on.
We'll have to see.
Yeah,
we'll have to see. But again, one game at a time. And actually, this is a good point. Why change a winning team? I think that
very good point. Very good
fair
point.
point.
True.
Last time we won.
Unless we're forced to.
But the thing is why change a winning team? Correct, but is it the correct team to go up to Manchester in the terms
it's a completely
of how
different
we
game.
would how
Don't
we
matter.
would it's like people said that when against Chelsea versus Leeds, and then you think, well, Leeds is a completely different fixture, like completely different setup in terms of team. I think why change a winning team?
We'd beat Chelsea.
I understand it, but I think you've got to play a team that can fit the system, that can counter Man United, and that's what Salah said he'd do. He said we're going to go out there and find a way to win. So.
Yeah, no, fair play, but it's another big game. They're all big games. They're all cup finals. Any other points anyone wants to make before we sign off?
Oh, yeah. I just hope Alcaraz is fine. I reckon he'll be out for 2 weeks. I reckon. Like that knee injury. Oh God, it's so Saints, isn't it? But yeah, I need to see that Lavia, Ward-Prowse, Alcaraz midfield. I think
it'd be interesting to see if he is out. How do we adapt? What does Sellers change? Does he just bring Elyounoussi in or Stu, or does he go to back to
again? What an occasion for him. Coming in as the assistant at the beginning of the season, and then being able to lead a team. As such an iconic.
I do like him.
I really like him.
I like him a lot. Obviously, I think the Lavia comments. We haven't even spoken about that pre-game.
God, yeah, that was smart. I'm not against it. Yeah. I'm not against it.
I'm not necessarily against it.
That performance by Lavia on Saturday though just showed it. Yeah, I mean, like.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
Romeo gets it.
Too much.
It's an interesting comment. Look, regardless, what he says to Romeo face to face, away from the cameras, is all that matters. Directly.
Did you see Lavia at full time?
Lavia at full time. Yeah.
Holy shit. Walking over, giving it that.
Yeah.
All right, I love it, man.
And this is
just love it. It hurts. He's going to leave in the summer if we go up or if we stay up or go down. But I love that kid. He's just so good.
Yeah, I really love him.
It's it's going to be an exciting end to the season for sure. I think I'm confident that my team can actually win football matches now, and that they won't go down with a whimper. That is, and that's I think
Famous
that's what
last words, mate. Come on.
Touch,
At least we got
wood.
20 points, you know what I mean?
Yeah, Jesus. Touch wood. No, I don't know. I'm just so kind of just generally as a football fan, I'm so excited about this relegation battle because it's a spectacle we haven't seen for I think ever, arguably in the Premier League. It's just really, really annoying that my team is stuck in the middle of it. And really nerve-wracking because if I'm a neutral, I'm enjoying this like eat my popcorn, just watching everything go on.
Better than top four.
But I just hope that when it comes down to the wire on the final day of the season, I can just sit back, chuck on Sky
need to get a
Sports,
result.
Gillette Soccer Saturday, and just.
All right, here's okay, and we're gonna come back to this at the end of the season if we remember.
Can we not?
Very strict. Two questions. Firstly, come the final day of the season. Will there be a team already relegated, or will all three places be up for grabs? And secondly, if you think that someone's going to be relegated by then, will it be Southampton?
God, that's hard.
I personally think
I
just because of how history repeats itself, I think someone will be gone by the time we play Liverpool at home. But I'm going to go on record to say Southampton will not be relegated until the final day of the season if they go down.
Hell, that would I think I'd cry. I'm going to go with I'm going to go all three places to be decided because I just can't tell. It's so tight. And I think come the final day of the season, I think we'll be sitting in 18th with like a draw or a win needed to stay up. Obviously,
yeah, I think it's going to be one of those where it's like a win. But I think it's that final. Oh my god, that final day.
You've got to hope Liverpool make it far in the Champions League, right? They're still in it. Are they still in it?
Yeah, but they're 5-2 down.
Well, you never know. You never know.
You do.
Barcelona.
No, we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to like. I've just been sat here for 5 minutes waffling about how we have to take every game as it comes. I'm just.
And then he's jumping ahead to the final game.
I know. And clip it.
It's what it does to your head.
But I'm going to go on record to say I think it will go to the final day for Saints.
Hope is a horrible thing.
Yeah, it really is. Any other points? Anything else?
Well, Liam, we haven't heard yours yet. Go on.
Yeah, anything you need to get? Oh yeah. Do you think?
I think we'll make it to the final day, but I reckon either us or Bournemouth are going to be relegated before
I'm
day.
And again, this can get clipped. I'm sure this will go on Bournemouth Twitter if Bournemouth fans find it.
I hope I'm wrong. But
I've been saying
you
all
don't
season.
know, man. You don't know.
I think since the Gary O'Neill appointment, I've just been thinking they're going to be certain for relegation. And to be fair, I'm very impressed with how they've been able to keep their heads above water for so long.
I found it mad how they were 2-0 up the other day.
They were good, and they were good.
Crazy.
They were good yesterday, but I just feel like the inexperience, and obviously we've got this as well. So maybe I should be careful with my words, but I just feel the whole thing with the appointment of Gary O'Neill was just crazy. But yeah, we'll have to see about that. But any other points anyone wants to make?
Not really, mate. I think we can just.
I think
next week is a free hit, mate.
I think we've covered it. Oh, we haven't even talked about the FA Cup, which I'm still fuming about.
I don't want to discuss that.
I don't think we need to talk about that.
Especially because we won yesterday. But I think next week, obviously we still go there with expectation of a good performance because every game, as you said, is a cup final, and in every game now we need to show up. But it is a free hit for me next week. If we can get a point, bloody hell, brilliant. If we can get 3 points, Jesus Christ. But I think, literally. But for me, no expectations going into next week. I just want to hear some good news in the press conference about Charlie, and it's a free hit. But you still have to go there and put in a bloody good performance because that's the minimum travelling fans deserve.
Yeah, it can't be like Leeds.
Absolutely not.
Because
otherwise we'll get decimated.
Yeah. Well, I think that's good. Yeah, just heading into 40 minutes. Thank you both for joining. Thank you everyone who's joined live. And if you're watching on repeat as well, make sure to hit subscribe if you haven't yet already. Follow us on all of our socials. and we'll see you in the week to give you a bit more on the United game. Take it easy, guys. Have a good week.